If you will allow me, I want to share something with you today that has been pressing upon my consciousness for many years now. Something that I have observed not only in the readings I have given, not only in the countless souls I have encountered in my work, but in the very fabric of reality itself as it reveals itself to those who are willing to see. You are here because something inside you knows. You may not be able to name it yet, but there is a recognition, a stirring, a whisper that brought you to this moment. And I want you to understand that this is not coincidence. There are no accidents in the universe. The fact that you are hearing these words right now, in this precise moment of your life, means that your soul has called you to attention. Because what I am about to share with you will reorganize everything you thought you understood about your existence, your purpose, and the choice that stands before you right now. I have spent decades in service to the unseen, translating the language of the soul, interpreting the patterns that weave through human experience. I have witnessed the architecture of destiny, the blueprints of karma, the sacred geometry of choice. And if there is one truth that has emerged with absolute clarity from all of this work, it is this. You are standing at a crossroads right now, whether you realize it or not, and the earth you will inhabit tomorrow, next year, in the next chapter of your eternal journey, depends entirely on the choice you make today. Now, before I go further, I need you to do something for me. If this message resonates with you, if you feel that pull of recognition, I ask you to subscribe to this channel. Not because I need the numbers, but because content like this, truth like this, is becoming harder and harder to find. The algorithms do not favor the mysteries. The systems of this world do not promote the awakening of consciousness. So, when you subscribe, you are making a statement to the universe that you choose to align with truth, with depth, with the sacred. And at the end of this message, I'm going to ask you a very specific question, and I want you to share your answer in the comments. Because your voice matters. Your experience is part of the great tapestry, and there may be someone else who desperately needs to hear what you have to say. And if you know someone, just one person, who is struggling right now, who feels lost between worlds, who senses that something profound is shifting but cannot name it, share this with them, not as entertainment, but as an act of love, as a lighthouse signal to a ship in the storm. Now, let us begin. You must choose your earth. These 5 words contain within them the entire mystery of human existence, the complete teaching of every sacred tradition, the ultimate secret that the masters have tried to convey across millennia. But what does it mean? What earth am I speaking of? And why must you choose? Let me take you deeper. There is a teaching in the ancient wisdom, echoed in my own readings, that speaks of multiple earths, multiple realities, multiple dimensions of experience that exist simultaneously. Not in some far-off galaxy, not in some distant future, but right here, right now, occupying the same space you are sitting in at this very moment. These are not physical planets in the astronomical sense. They are vibrational states. They are frequencies of consciousness. They are, if you will, different channels on the cosmic radio, and your soul is the dial. Most people live their entire lives on one channel, never realizing that they have the power to turn the dial. They inherit a frequency from their parents, from their culture, from their trauma, from their conditioning, and they broadcast on that frequency until the day they die. And then, in the life between lives, in that sacred space of review and reflection, they see with perfect clarity all the other channels that were available to them, all the other Earths they could have chosen, all the other versions of their life that were waiting just beyond the veil of their awareness. But you are being given the opportunity to see this now, while you are still in the body, while you still have the power to choose. Let me describe these Earths to you, not as abstract concepts, but as living realities that you have already experienced, perhaps without recognizing them. There is the Earth of suffering. This is the Earth where everything is heavy, where the body aches without clear cause, where relationships are battlegrounds, where money is always scarce, no matter how hard you work, where the future is a source of anxiety and the past is a source of shame, where you wake up tired and go to bed exhausted, where joy is fleeting and pain is constant, where you are always waiting for the other shoe to drop, where you trust no one, not even yourself, where the universe feels hostile, indifferent, or at best, neutral. Many souls spend lifetimes on this earth, not because they are being punished, but because they do not know there is another choice. They think this is just how life is. They think everyone feels this way. They think the heaviness is normal. The struggle is inevitable. The suffering is the price of being human. But I tell you, this is only one earth, one frequency, one channel. There is another earth, and I will call it the earth of distraction. This is the earth where you are always busy but never fulfilled, where you consume but are never satisfied, where you scroll but never connect, where you achieve but never arrive, where you are always planning the next thing, the next purchase, the next experience, the next validation, but you are never actually present for your life. This earth is louder than the earth of suffering. It has more color, more stimulation, more noise. But beneath the noise is a profound emptiness, a hollowness, a sense that you are living on the surface of your own existence, never diving deep, never touching the bottom, never finding the pearl. This earth is seductive. It promises happiness through acquisition. It promises peace through control. It promises love through performance. And millions of souls are trapped here, running faster and faster on a treadmill that goes nowhere, wondering why they feel so alone in a world so crowded, so disconnected in an age of constant connection. But again I tell you, this is only one earth, one frequency, one choice. There is another earth, and this one is harder to describe because fewer souls have touched it, and those who have often struggle to find the words. I will call it the earth of awakening. This is the earth where you begin to see the patterns, where synchronicities multiply, where dreams become prophetic, where you feel the presence of guidance, of protection, of something vast and loving that is orchestrating events beyond your comprehension. This is the earth where you start to understand that you are not a victim of circumstance, but a creator of reality, where you realize that your thoughts have power, your words have weight, your intentions shape outcomes. On this earth, suffering does not disappear, but it transforms. It becomes a teacher rather than a tormentor. Challenges are recognized as initiations. Losses are understood as clearings, making space for what is meant to come. You begin to trust the process, even when you cannot see the destination. You begin to surrender control, even as you step into your true power. This is the earth where you remember who you are. Not the small self, the ego self, the personality self, but the eternal self, the soul self, the divine spark that has been journeying through countless lifetimes, gathering experience, evolving, ascending. And yet, even this is not the final earth. There is another. I call it the earth of service. This is the earth where your awakening is no longer just for you, where your healing becomes a healing for others, where your light becomes a beacon, where your life becomes a living prayer, a walking meditation, a continuous offering. On this earth, you understand that you are here for a reason, that you chose this time, this place, this body, this family, this set of challenges, not randomly, but strategically. You are here on assignment. You are here with a mission. And that mission is not about fame or fortune or recognition. It is about embodying a frequency that this world desperately needs. It is about holding a vibration that helps others remember who they are. It is about being a bridge between the seen and the unseen, the known and the unknown, the human and the divine. On this earth, you are no longer asking, "What can I get from life?" You are asking, "What can I give? How can I serve? Where am I needed? What is mine to do?" And here is the secret that I must share with you, the key that unlocks everything. These earths are not destinations you arrive at after years of meditation or decades of spiritual practice. They are choices you make, moment by moment, breath by breath, thought by thought. You are choosing your earth right now, in this very instant, with the quality of your attention, with the direction of your focus, with the stories you tell yourself about who you are and what is possible. Every time you choose fear, you tune into the earth of suffering. Every time you choose distraction, you tune into the earth of noise. Every time you choose awareness, you tune into the earth of awakening. Every time you choose love, you tune into the earth of service. And here is what most people do not understand. You do not have to be perfect to change channels. You do not have to have it all figured out. You do not have to be healed of every wound, free of every pattern, clear of every doubt. You simply have to choose in this moment, and then in the next moment, and then in the next. The choice is always available. Always. Now I want to share with you something from the readings, something that came through many years ago, but has never been more relevant than it is right now. A soul asked me, "Why is there so much suffering in the world? Why does God allow it?" And the answer that came through was this: God does not create suffering. Consciousness creates experience. And humanity, in its current state of consciousness, is broadcasting on a frequency of separation, of fear, of scarcity, of competition. And that frequency generates a corresponding reality. But the frequency is not fixed. It is not permanent. It can be changed. And it is changed, one soul at a time, one choice at a time, one moment of love at a time. You see, the earth you experience is not imposed upon you from the outside. It is emanating from you from the inside. You are not a passive receiver of reality. You are an active broadcaster. And the question is not, what is the world doing to me? The question is, what frequency am I transmitting, and what reality is that frequency creating? Let me give you a practical example, something you can test in your own life immediately. Think about a relationship that is difficult for you right now. It could be a partner, a parent, a child, a coworker, a friend, someone who triggers you, frustrates you, disappoints you. Now, notice the story you tell yourself about this person. Notice the judgments, the resentments, the expectations, the grievances. Notice how that story makes you feel. Notice the heaviness, the contraction, the closing of the heart. That story, that interpretation, that meaning you are assigning to their behavior is tuning you into a specific earth. An earth where people hurt you, where trust is dangerous, where love is conditional, where you are alone. Now, just for a moment, consider a different story. Not a naive story. Not a story that ignores real harm or pretends everything is fine. But a story that includes compassion. A story that recognizes that this person, like you, is wounded. That they, like you, are doing the best they can with the consciousness they have. That they, like you, are carrying burdens you cannot see. That they, like you, are a soul on a journey, learning, evolving, sometimes failing, sometimes succeeding. Notice what happens in your body when you hold this story. Notice the softening. Notice the opening. Notice the possibility. You have just changed channels. You have just chosen a different earth. Not by changing the other person, not by changing the external circumstances, but by changing the frequency of your own consciousness. This is the power you have. This is the choice that is always available to you. But I must warn you, and I say this with great love and great seriousness, there are forces in this world that do not want you to know you have this power. There are systems, structures, institutions, and yes, entities that benefit from you staying tuned into the lower frequencies. Fear is profitable. Distraction is profitable. Division is profitable. A population that is asleep, that is reactive, that is addicted to outrage and entertainment and consumption is easy to control, easy to manipulate, easy to exploit. And so there is a constant barrage of messages designed to keep you locked into the earth of suffering and the earth of distraction. Messages that tell you you are not enough. Messages that tell you the world is falling apart. Messages that tell you to be afraid, to be angry, to be envious, to be desperate. Messages that tell you that happiness is something you buy, that peace is something you achieve, that love is something you earn. These messages are not truth. They are programming, and you have the power to turn them off. But it requires vigilance. It requires discipline. It requires a commitment to guard your consciousness the way you would guard your most precious possession, because it is your most precious possession. It is the only thing you truly own. It is the only thing you take with you when you leave this body. It is the only thing that determines the quality of your experience, the trajectory of your evolution, the earth you inhabit. I want to pause here and ask you to do something. If you have stayed with me this far, if these words are landing in your soul, I want you to leave a comment right now. Do not wait until the end. Do it now. And here is what I want you to share. What earth have you been living on? And what earth are you choosing to move toward? Be honest. Be vulnerable. Your truth might be the permission someone else needs to speak theirs. Now, let us go deeper still. There is a question that arises when we begin to understand this teaching. The question is, if I can choose my earth, if I can change my frequency, why would I ever choose suffering? Why would I ever choose distraction? Why would anyone stay on the lower channels when the higher channels are available? And the answer is both simple and profound, because the lower channels are familiar, because the ego self, the small self, the conditioned self, is terrified of the unknown, because choosing a new earth means letting go of the old earth, and letting go feels like death. Even when what you are letting go of is painful, even when it is limiting, even when it is destroying you, it is known. And the ego prefers known suffering to unknown freedom. This is the great paradox of the spiritual journey. The very thing you long for is the thing you resist. The very freedom you pray for is the thing you sabotage. Because freedom requires change, and change requires surrender, and surrender requires trust, and trust requires faith, and faith requires a willingness to step into the void, into the mystery, into the space where you do not know, where you cannot control, where you must simply allow. I have seen this pattern in thousands of readings. A soul will ask for guidance, for healing, for transformation, and the information will come through with perfect clarity. The steps will be laid out, the path will be illuminated, and then nothing happens. The soul does not take the steps. The soul does not walk the path, because taking the first step means leaving behind the identity they have built, the story they have been telling, the role they have been playing. And that identity, that story, that role, even if it is the identity of victim, the story of suffering, the role of the wounded one, has become their home. Their prison, yes, but a familiar prison, a known prison, and so they stay. They stay on the earth of suffering, wondering why God does not rescue them, not realizing that God has already given them the key. The key is choice. The key is consciousness. The key is the willingness to take responsibility for the frequency they are broadcasting. But here is the beautiful truth, the grace that is woven into the fabric of existence. You do not have to make the leap all at once. You do not have to go from the earth of suffering to the earth of service in a single bound. The universe is infinitely patient. The soul has all the time in eternity. You can take one small step. You can choose one new thought. You can shift the frequency just slightly, just enough to feel a little lighter, a little freer, a little more alive. And that small shift creates momentum. That small shift opens a door. That small shift invites grace. And grace, my friends, is the secret ingredient in all of this. Grace is the hand of the divine reaching down to meet your hand reaching up. Grace is the wind that fills your sails when you set your intention. Grace is the synchronicity that appears when you align with your truth. Grace is the miracle that happens when you get out of your own way. You cannot earn grace. You cannot force grace. But you can open to grace. You can become available to grace. And you do that by choosing love over fear, by choosing presence over distraction, by choosing truth over comfort, by choosing your highest earth over your habitual earth. Now I want to speak to those of you who are feeling the weight of the world right now. Those of you who are empaths, sensitives, old souls. Those of you who feel everything, who absorb the pain of others, who carry burdens that are not yours to carry. I know you are tired. I know you are overwhelmed. I know there are days when you do not want to be here anymore, when the heaviness is too much, when you wonder if you have the strength to continue. I see you, and I want you to hear this. Your sensitivity is not a weakness. It is a gift. It is a superpower. It is the very thing that allows you to navigate between the earths, to sense the frequencies, to be a bridge for others. But you must learn to manage your gift. You must learn to protect your energy. You must learn to discern what is yours and what is not yours. You must learn to ground, to clear, to shield, to replenish. Because if you do not, you will burn out. You will become so depleted that you will not be able to hold the frequency you came here to hold. And the world needs you. The world needs your light. The world needs your frequency. Not your martyrdom, not your suffering, your light. And here is something I have learned from the readings, something that changed my own life. You do not help others by lowering your frequency to match theirs. You do not serve the world by drowning in its pain. You serve the world by maintaining your connection to the higher earths, by embodying the frequency of love, of peace, of hope, of possibility, and allowing that frequency to radiate outward. You become a tuning fork, and those who are ready, those who are seeking, those who are open, will begin to resonate with your frequency. They will begin to remember their own light. They will begin to choose their own earth. This is true service. This is true healing. Not rescuing, not fixing, not saving, but being. Being the frequency, being the love, being the light. And this brings me to a teaching that is central to everything I have learned, everything I have been shown. You are not here by accident. You are not a random collection of atoms that happen to coalesce into consciousness. You are an eternal being, a fragment of the divine, a spark of the infinite, who chose to incarnate at this specific time, in this specific place, in this specific body, for a specific purpose. Before you were born, before you took your first breath, your soul looked at the landscape of this earth, at the challenges and opportunities of this era, and said, "Yes, I am needed there. I have something to contribute there. I choose to go." And you came. You came knowing it would be difficult. You came knowing you would forget who you are. You came knowing you would face pain, loss, betrayal, disappointment. You came anyway. Because you are brave, because you are committed, because you are a warrior of light. But somewhere along the way, you forgot. The density of this dimension, the intensity of the conditioning, the weight of the trauma caused you to forget your mission, your purpose, your power. And you began to believe the lie that you are small, that you are powerless, that you are a victim, that you are alone. But you are not. You have never been. You are surrounded by guides, by angels, by ancestors, by the loving intelligence of the universe itself, and they are constantly sending you signs, messages, nudges, trying to remind you of who you are, trying to wake you up, trying to help you remember. The number sequences you keep seeing, the songs that play at the exact right moment, the dreams that feel more real than waking life, the strangers who appear with exactly the message you needed to hear, the books that fall off the shelf, the coincidences that are too perfect to be random. These are not accidents. These are love letters from the universe. These are breadcrumbs on the path back to yourself. But you have to pay attention. You have to be present. You have to be willing to see. Because the signs are always there, but they are subtle. They speak in the language of symbolism, of metaphor, of intuition. They do not shout. They whisper. And if you are tuned into the earth of distraction, if your consciousness is scattered, If your attention is fragmented, you will miss them. This is why meditation is not a luxury. This is why stillness is not optional. This is why you must create space in your life for silence, for solitude, for communion with your own soul. Because in the silence, you can hear the whispers. In the stillness, you can feel the guidance. In the solitude, you can remember who you are. And when you remember, everything changes. The earth you have been living on begins to feel foreign, uncomfortable, too small. And the earth you are meant to inhabit begins to call to you, to pull you, to magnetize you. And you find yourself making different choices, not because you are forcing yourself, not because you are trying to be spiritual, but because the old choices no longer match your frequency. They no longer resonate. They no longer feel true. This is the natural evolution of consciousness. This is the path of awakening. Not a straight line, not a steady climb, but a spiral. You circle back to the same lessons, the same patterns, the same challenges. But each time you circle back, you are at a higher level of the spiral. You have more awareness, more tools, more compassion, more wisdom. And eventually, you complete the lesson. You break the pattern. You choose a new earth. Now I want to address something that I know is on many of your minds, something that is causing great fear and great confusion in the collective consciousness right now. You look at the state of the world, at the division, the conflict, the chaos, the uncertainty, and you wonder, is it too late? Have we gone too far? Is the earth beyond saving? And I will tell you what the readings have shown me, what I have seen in the Akashic Records, what I know to be true. The earth is not one thing. The earth is multiple possibilities, multiple timelines, multiple potentials, all existing simultaneously. And which earth manifests, which timeline becomes dominant, which potential becomes actual, depends on the collective frequency of human consciousness. Right now, in this moment, there are multiple earths being born. There is an earth of destruction, of collapse, of darkness, and there is an earth of renewal, of transformation, of light. Both are possible. Both are real. Both are being created right now by the choices, the thoughts, the beliefs, the actions of billions of souls. And you, yes you, the one listening to these words right now, you are not a passive observer of this process. You are an active participant. You are a vote. You are a frequency. You are a choice. And the earth you choose for yourself contributes to the earth that manifests for the collective. This is why your inner work is not selfish. This is why your healing is not self-indulgent. This is why your commitment to choosing the higher frequency, to embodying love, to being the light, matters more than you can possibly imagine. You are not just changing your own life, you are changing the world. You are tipping the scales. You are casting a vote for the earth of light. And I want you to understand something that is absolutely critical. You do not have to wait for everyone else to wake up. You do not have to wait for the systems to change. You do not have to wait for permission, for validation, for the perfect circumstances. You can choose your earth right now, today, in this moment. And when you do, you create a ripple. You send out a signal. You become a beacon, and others will find you. Others will recognize the frequency. Others will begin to wake up. This is how the shift happens. Not top down, but bottom up. Not through force, but through frequency. Not through revolution, but through evolution. One soul at a time. One choice at a time. One moment of love at a time. And here is the promise, the guarantee, the cosmic law that governs all of this. Like attracts like. Frequency attracts frequency. The earth you choose is the earth you will experience. Not because you are creating it out of nothing, but because you are tuning into it, aligning with it, becoming a vibrational match for it. If you choose the earth of suffering, you will find evidence everywhere that life is hard, that people are cruel, that the universe is indifferent. Not because that is the only truth, but because that is the frequency you are tuned into, and the universe will mirror that frequency back to you. If you choose the earth of awakening, you will find evidence everywhere that you are guided, that you are loved, that you are supported. Not because suffering has disappeared, but because you are seeing it through different eyes, interpreting it with different understanding, responding to it with different consciousness. The external circumstances may be the same, but the internal experience is completely different. And the internal experience is the only experience there is. Because you do not experience the world as it is. You experience the world as you are. This is the teaching. This is the truth. This is the choice. Now, I want to take you into a meditation, a visualization, a journey. I want you to close your eyes if you are able. I want you to take a deep breath, and I want you to imagine that you are standing at a crossroads. Not a physical crossroads, but a spiritual crossroads, a choice point. To your left is the path you have been walking, the familiar path, the known path, the path of your conditioning, your patterns, your habitual responses. You can see where this path leads. You have been walking it for years, perhaps for lifetimes. You know its terrain. You know its destinations. And you know, if you are honest with yourself, that it does not lead where you truly want to go. To your right is a new path, an unknown path, a path you have glimpsed in your dreams, in your visions, in your moments of deepest knowing. You cannot see where it leads. You do not know what challenges it will bring, but you can feel it. You can feel the pull. You can feel the rightness. You can feel your soul saying yes. And you are standing at the crossroads, and you must choose. Now, I want you to feel into your body. Feel the fear that arises when you look at the new path. Feel the resistance. Feel the voice that says, "It is not safe. It is not practical. It is not possible." Who do you think you are? Feel all of that. Acknowledge it. Thank it for trying to protect you. And then, gently, lovingly, set it aside. And now, feel into your soul. Feel the longing. Feel the knowing. Feel the deep, ancient, eternal part of you that remembers why you came here, what you came to do, who you came to be. Feel that part of you reaching toward the new path, yearning for it, ready for it. And now, make the choice. In your imagination, in your consciousness, in your heart, take the first step onto the new path. Feel your foot touching the ground. Feel the shift in your energy. Feel the opening. Feel the possibility. And now, open your eyes and understand that what you just did in your imagination, you can do in your life. The choice is the same. The crossroads is the same. And the power is the same. You must choose your earth. And I will tell you something else, something that may surprise you. You do not choose once and then you are done. You choose again and again and again, every day, every hour, every moment. Because the old path is always there. The old patterns are always available. The old frequency is always trying to pull you back, not because it is evil, but because it is familiar, because it is the path of least resistance, because it is what you know. But every time you choose the new path, it gets easier. Every time you choose the higher frequency, it becomes more natural. Every time you choose your true earth, you strengthen the neural pathways, the energetic pathways, the soul pathways that make that choice your default, your baseline, your home. This is the work. This is the practice. This is the journey. And I want to speak now to those of you who have been on the spiritual path for a long time. Those of you who have read all the books, taken all the courses, done all the workshops. Those of you who understand the concepts intellectually, but are still struggling to embody them experientially. Those of you who are frustrated because you know what you should do, but you are not doing it. Those of you who are judging yourselves for not being further along, for not being more evolved, for not being more consistent. I want you to hear this with your whole heart. There is no should. There is no timeline. There is no race. There is no competition. There is only your journey, your unique, sacred, perfect journey. And wherever you are right now is exactly where you need to be. Not because you have failed, but because your soul is learning something essential at this level of the spiral. And when the lesson is complete, when the integration is done, you will move naturally, effortlessly to the next level. Forcing does not work. Shaming does not work. Comparing does not work. These are all strategies of the ego, trying to control the process, trying to speed up the journey, trying to prove something. But the soul does not need to prove anything. The soul is already whole, already perfect, already divine. The soul is simply remembering, simply awakening, simply choosing. So be gentle with yourself. Be patient with yourself. Be compassionate with yourself. Treat yourself the way you would treat a beloved child who is learning to walk. You would not shame them for falling. You would not compare them to other children. You would not demand that they run before they can stand. You would encourage them. You would celebrate every small step. You would hold them when they cry. You would believe in them, even when they do not believe in themselves. This is how you must treat yourself. This is how you must walk the path. With gentleness, with patience, with compassion, with love. And here is what I have learned, what the readings have shown me again and again. The universe is not judging you. God is not judging you. Your guides are not judging you. The only one judging you is you. And that judgment, that self-criticism, that harsh inner voice is not the voice of truth. It is the voice of the wounded ego, the conditioned self, the part of you that was taught that you are not enough, that you have to earn love, that you have to be perfect to be worthy. But you do not have to earn love. You are love. You do not have to be perfect to be worthy. You are worthy because you exist. You are a child of the divine. You are a spark of the infinite. You are a soul on a journey. And there is nothing you could do, no mistake you could make, no failure you could experience that would change that fundamental truth. So release the judgment, release the shame, release the guilt. These are heavy frequencies. These are the frequencies of the earth of suffering. And you are choosing a different earth now, an earth of grace, an earth of acceptance, an earth of love. Now I want to share with you a practice, a tool, a technique that you can use every single day to help you choose your earth, to help you maintain your frequency, to help you stay aligned with your truth. Every morning, before you do anything else, before you check your phone, before you turn on the news, before you engage with the world, take 5 minutes to set your frequency. Sit in silence. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths. And then ask yourself, what earth do I choose today? And listen. Listen to your soul. Listen to your intuition. Listen to the still, small voice within. And then speak it out loud. Declare it. Today I choose the earth of awakening. Today I choose the earth of love. Today I choose the earth of service. Whatever feels true for you in that moment, speak it. Give it voice. Give it power. Give it energy. And then, throughout the day, whenever you feel yourself slipping into the old patterns, the old frequencies, the old earth, pause, take a breath, and remember your choice. Remember your declaration and choose again. This is not about being perfect. This is not about never slipping. This is about awareness. This is about consciousness. This is about taking responsibility for your frequency, for your energy, for your experience. And I promise you, if you do this practice consistently, if you make this choice consciously, you will begin to notice changes, subtle at first, a little more peace, a little more clarity, a little more synchronicity, a little more joy. And then, over time, the changes will become more pronounced. Your relationships will shift. Your circumstances will shift. Your entire reality will shift. Not because you are forcing it, but because you are aligning with it. You are becoming a vibrational match for the earth you are choosing. This is the law. This is the way. This is the path. And now I want to speak to something that is very important, something that is often misunderstood in spiritual teaching. Choosing a higher earth does not mean bypassing your pain. It does not mean pretending everything is fine when it is not. It does not mean suppressing your emotions or denying your struggles or putting on a fake smile and claiming you are blessed when you are actually suffering. True spirituality is not about transcendence in the sense of escape. It is about transcendence in the sense of integration. It is about feeling your feelings fully, honoring your pain, acknowledging your struggles, and then choosing how you respond to them, choosing what meaning you assign to them, choosing what you do with them. You can be on the earth of awakening and still grieve. You can be on the earth of service and still feel anger. You can be on the earth of love and still experience fear. The difference is not in the absence of these emotions, but in your relationship to them. You do not identify with them. You do not let them define you. You do not let them control you. You feel them, you honor them, you learn from them, and then you let them move through you. Because emotions are energy in motion, and when you resist them, when you suppress them, when you judge them, you trap them. You create blockages. You create stagnation. You create disease. But when you allow them, when you welcome them, when you give them space to be felt and expressed, they move, they flow, they complete their cycle, and they leave you clearer, lighter, more free. This is the practice of emotional mastery. Not control, but allowance. Not suppression, but expression. Not denial, but integration. And this is one of the ways you change your earth. Because when you are no longer afraid of your emotions, when you are no longer running from your pain, when you are no longer resisting your experience, you free up an enormous amount of energy. Energy that was being used to maintain the walls, to keep the feelings at bay, to hold the mask in place. And that energy becomes available for creation, for healing, for service, for love. This is the paradox. The way out is through. The way to the higher earth is not around your pain, but through it. Not by dwelling in it, not by making it your identity, but by feeling it fully, learning from it deeply, and then releasing it completely. And here is another truth that I must share with you, something that came through in the readings many years ago and has been confirmed again and again in my own experience. You are never given more than you can handle. The challenges you face, the pain you experience, the darkness you encounter, are all calibrated precisely to your soul's capacity, to your soul's curriculum, to your soul's evolution. If you are facing something that feels impossible, something that feels unbearable, something that feels like it will break you, I want you to know you are stronger than you think. You are more resilient than you realize. You are more supported than you can see. And this challenge, this initiation, this dark night of the soul is not here to destroy you. It is here to transform you. It is here to burn away everything that is not essential, everything that is not true, everything that is not you. It is here to reveal your light. And on the other side of this, you will be different. You will be more compassionate, more wise, more powerful, more free, more you. This is the alchemy of suffering. This is the gift hidden in the wound. This is the treasure buried in the darkness. But you have to trust the process. You have to surrender to the journey. You have to believe that there is meaning even when you cannot see it, that there is purpose even when you cannot feel it, that there is love even when you cannot touch it. This is faith, not blind faith, not naive faith, but deep faith, soul faith, the faith that comes from knowing, from remembering, from recognizing that you are part of something vast and intelligent and benevolent that is guiding you, supporting you, loving you always. And when you have this faith, when you anchor into this knowing, you can walk through the fire and not be consumed. You can descend into the underworld and find your way back. You can face the darkness and emerge with your light intact. This is the hero's journey. This is the path of initiation. This is what you signed up for when you chose to incarnate at this time, in this place, in this body. You are not here for an easy life. You are here for a meaningful life. You are not here to be comfortable. You are here to grow. You are not here to play it safe. You are here to become who you truly are. And who you truly are is magnificent. Who you truly are is powerful. Who you truly are is a being of light, of love, of infinite creative potential. But you will not discover this by staying on the earth of suffering, by staying in the comfort zone of your conditioning, by staying small and safe and hidden. You will discover this by choosing the new earth, by choosing the higher frequency, by choosing to step into your power, your purpose, your truth. And I know it is scary. I know it is uncomfortable. I know it requires you to let go of everything you thought you knew, everything you thought you were, everything you thought you needed. But I also know that you are ready. I know that your soul is calling you. I know that the universe is supporting you. I know that this is your time. So I am asking you right here, right now, to make the choice. Not tomorrow, not when you feel more ready, not when the circumstances are perfect. Now, in this moment, choose your earth. But before I ask you to declare your choice, I want to share with you some of the specific ways that this choice manifests in your daily life. Because the teaching is not complete if it remains abstract. It must become practical. It must become lived. It must become embodied. Let me speak to you about the earth you choose in your relationships. When you are on the earth of suffering, you see relationships as transactions. You keep score. You build resentments. You wait for the other person to change before you can be happy. You make your peace conditional on their behavior. You withhold love as punishment. You use silence as a weapon. You replay old hurts like a broken record. You predict the future based on the past. You see the worst in people and call it being realistic. But when you choose the earth of awakening, relationships become mirrors. Every conflict becomes an opportunity to see your own shadow. Every trigger becomes a doorway to healing. Every difficult person becomes a teacher. You take responsibility for your half of every dynamic. You communicate your needs without blame. You set boundaries without guilt. You forgive, not because the other person deserves it, but because you deserve peace. You love without attachment to outcome. You see people not as they appear, but as the souls they truly are. And when you choose the earth of service, relationships become sacred assignments. You understand that the people in your life, especially the difficult ones, are soul contracts. They agreed before you were born to play certain roles in your evolution, and you agreed to play certain roles in theirs. The parent who wounded you is teaching you to reclaim your power. The partner who betrayed you is teaching you to trust yourself. The child who challenges you is teaching you unconditional love. The friend who abandoned you is teaching you self-sufficiency. Nothing is random. Everything is purposeful. Everyone is a gift. Now let me speak to you about the earth you choose in your work, in your livelihood, in how you spend the hours of your days. On the earth of suffering, work is drudgery. It is something you have to do to survive. It drains you. It depletes you. It feels meaningless. You watch the clock. You live for the weekend. You fantasize about retirement. You feel trapped, stuck, powerless to change. You believe you have no choice, no options, no way out. On the earth of distraction, work is about status, about proving, about accumulating. You chase titles and promotions. You compare yourself to others. You measure your worth by your salary. You sacrifice your health, your relationships, your soul for success that never satisfies. You achieve and achieve and achieve, but the emptiness remains because you are climbing a ladder that is leaning against the wrong wall. But on the earth of awakening, work becomes an expression of your gifts. You begin to ask different questions, not what will make me the most money, but what brings me alive? What am I naturally good at? What would I do even if I were not paid? You start to trust that when you align with your authentic path, the universe will support you. You take small steps toward your true calling, even while maintaining practical responsibilities. You stop waiting for permission and start creating possibilities. And on the earth of service, work becomes ministry. It becomes offering. It becomes the way you contribute to the healing of the world. It does not matter if you are a teacher or a janitor, a CEO or a caregiver, an artist or an accountant. What matters is the consciousness you bring to it. What matters is the love you infuse into it. What matters is the intention behind it. You understand that every interaction is an opportunity to be a blessing. Every task is an opportunity to be present. Every challenge is an opportunity to be the light. Let me speak to you now about the earth you choose in your relationship with your body. On the earth of suffering, the body is an enemy. It is too fat, too thin, too old, too sick, too tired, too imperfect. You punish it with deprivation. You ignore its signals. You override its wisdom. You treat it like a machine that should perform, regardless of how you treat it. You resent its limitations. You fear its aging. You see it as separate from you, as something you are trapped inside. On the earth of distraction, the body is a project. You are always trying to fix it, improve it, optimize it, make it conform to some external standard. You measure it, track it, compare it. You swing between extremes of indulgence and restriction. You are never satisfied. You are always chasing the next diet, the next workout, the next biohack, believing that if you could just get the body right, then you would finally be happy. But on the earth of awakening, the body becomes a sacred temple. You begin to listen to it. You honor its needs. You respect its rhythms. You feed it with intention. You move it with joy. You rest it with reverence. You understand that it is not separate from you. It is you. It is the vehicle your soul chose for this journey, and it is wise. It knows things your mind does not know. It carries memories your conscious awareness has forgotten. It speaks in the language of sensation, of intuition, of knowing. And on the earth of service, the body becomes an instrument. You care for it not out of vanity, but out of stewardship. You understand that to do the work you came here to do, you need energy, vitality, strength, clarity. You treat your body the way a musician treats their instrument, with respect, with maintenance, with appreciation. You understand that what you put into it, how you move it, how you rest it, directly affects your capacity to serve, to love, to shine. Now let me speak to you about the earth you choose in your relationship with money. On the earth of suffering, money is scarce. there is never enough. You live in fear of lack. You hoard. You grasp. You make decisions from desperation rather than wisdom. You believe that money is the root of all evil, or that spiritual people should not have money, or that wanting money is selfish. You have a conflicted, tortured relationship with it, and so it eludes you, or it comes and goes in chaotic patterns, mirroring your inner chaos. On the earth of distraction, money is everything. It is security, identity, power, freedom, love. You believe that if you just had more money, all your problems would be solved. You chase it relentlessly. You sacrifice everything for it. And yet, no matter how much you accumulate, it is never enough. The goalpost keeps moving. The fear remains. But on the earth of awakening, money becomes energy. You understand that it is simply a tool, a resource, a form of exchange. It is neutral. It amplifies whatever consciousness you bring to it. You begin to heal your relationship with it. You examine your beliefs about it. You release the shame, the guilt, the fear. You practice gratitude for what you have. You give generously. You receive graciously. You trust that you are always provided for. And as your consciousness shifts, your experience with money shifts. And on the earth of service, money becomes a vehicle for impact. You earn it through aligned work. You manage it with wisdom. You invest it in what matters. You use it to support causes you believe in, to help people you care about, to create beauty, to spread love, to make a difference. You hold it lightly. You are not attached to it, but you are not afraid of it. You understand that you can be spiritual and abundant, that you can be conscious and prosperous, that having resources allows you to serve at a greater scale. Let me speak to you now about the earth you choose in your relationship with time. On the earth of suffering, there is never enough time. You are always rushing, always behind, always overwhelmed. Time is your enemy. It is slipping away. You are getting older. You have wasted so much time. You will never have time to do what you really want to do. This belief creates a constant state of stress, of urgency, of anxiety. On the earth of distraction, time is something to fill. You pack your schedule. You say yes to everything. You multitask. You are always busy, but you are never present. You are thinking about the next thing while you are doing this thing. You are scrolling through your phone while talking to your child. You are planning tomorrow while missing today. Time passes in a blur, and you wonder where it went. But on the earth of awakening, time becomes spacious. You realize that time is not a fixed commodity. It is a perception. It expands and contracts based on your consciousness. When you are present, when you are fully here, time slows down. Moments become rich. Experiences become deep. You have time for what matters because you stop wasting time on what does not matter. You say no to obligations that do not align with your truth. You create space for stillness, for reflection, for being. And on the earth of service, time becomes sacred. Every moment is an opportunity. Every interaction is precious. You are not trying to get through your day. You are trying to be fully alive in your day. You understand that you do not know how much time you have. None of us do. And so you do not postpone joy. You do not delay love. You do not wait for someday. You live now. You love now. You serve now. I want to share with you now a story, a reading I gave many years ago that illustrates this teaching perfectly. A woman came to me in great distress. She was in her 50s, and she felt that her life had been wasted. She had spent decades in a marriage that was loveless, in a job that was soul-crushing, in a pattern of self-abandonment and people-pleasing. And now, she said, it was too late. She had missed her chance. Her life was over. And as I went into the reading, as I accessed the information that was available for her, I saw something beautiful. I saw that her soul had planned this exact trajectory, that every experience, every disappointment, every moment of suffering had been preparing her for what was coming next, that she was not behind, she was not late, she was exactly on time. And the message that came through was this: you have been living on the earth of suffering because you needed to understand suffering. You needed to know it intimately, to feel it deeply, so that when you step into your true work, which is to guide others out of suffering, you will speak with authority. You will speak from experience. You will speak with compassion. Your pain has not been wasted. It has been your training. And now, if you choose, you can graduate. You can choose a new earth, the earth of service. And the second half of your life will be more meaningful, more joyful, more impactful than you can possibly imagine. But you must choose. You must let go of the story that it is too late. You must release the identity of victim. You must step into your power now. And she wept. She wept with relief. She wept with recognition. She wept with hope. And she made the choice. And I watched over the following years as her entire life transformed. She left the marriage. She left the job. She trained as a counselor. She started working with women who were in the exact situation she had been in. And she became a beacon of light, a living testament to the truth that it is never too late, that you are never too broken, that your past does not define your future. This is the power of choice. This is the truth of the teaching. You must choose your earth. And I want to speak now to those of you who are young, who are just beginning your adult life, who are making the foundational choices about career, about relationships, about how you will live. You have an extraordinary opportunity. You do not have to spend decades on the earth of suffering before you wake up. You can choose the higher earth now. You can build your life on a foundation of consciousness, of authenticity, of service. but you will face pressure. Pressure from society, from family, from peers, to conform, to follow the prescribed path, to choose security over passion, to choose status over meaning, to choose the safe route over the true route. And I am here to tell you, do not do it. Do not sacrifice your soul for approval. Do not abandon your truth for acceptance. Do not choose the earth of distraction just because everyone else is on it. Listen to the whisper of your soul. Follow the pull of your heart. Trust the knowing in your bones. You came here with a mission. You came here with gifts. You came here to contribute something that only you can contribute. And the world needs it. The world needs you. Not the version of you that fits in, not the version of you that plays it safe. The real you, the wild you, the authentic you. And yes, it will be scary. Yes, there will be uncertainty. Yes, you may disappoint people. But I promise you, the regret of not trying is far more painful than the discomfort of trying and failing. The regret of living someone else's life is far more devastating than the challenge of living your own. Choose your earth now, while you are young, while you have energy, while you have time. Do not wait until you are 50 or 60 or 70 to finally give yourself permission to be who you are. And to those of you who are in the middle of your life, who are in the thick of responsibilities, of raising children, of building careers, of caring for aging parents, I see you. I know you feel pulled in 1,000 directions. I know you feel like you do not have time for your own soul, for your own growth, for your own dreams. I know you are tired. But I want you to hear this. You choosing your earth is not selfish. It is the most generous thing you can do. Because when you are on the earth of awakening, when you are on the earth of service, you become a better parent, a better partner, a better friend, a better human. You cannot give what you do not have. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot light the way for others if your own flame has gone out. So give yourself permission. Permission to take time for stillness. Permission to pursue what lights you up. Permission to say no to what drains you. Permission to ask for help. Permission to prioritize your own well-being, not instead of caring for others, but as a foundation for caring for others. And model this for your children. Show them what it looks like to live authentically. Show them what it looks like to choose consciousness over conditioning. Show them what it looks like to honor your soul. This is the greatest gift you can give them. Not your sacrifice, not your martyrdom, your wholeness. And to those of you who are in the later seasons of life, who are facing the reality of aging, of mortality, of the body slowing down, I want you to know your most important work may still be ahead of you. Because the earth you choose now, in these final chapters, will determine not only the quality of your remaining years, but the nature of your transition and the frequency you carry into the next dimension. This is the time to release, to forgive, to make peace, to let go of grudges, of regrets, of the weight you have been carrying. This is the time to distill the wisdom of your life into its essence. This is the time to share your stories, your lessons, your truth with those who are coming behind you. You are the elders. You are the wisdom keepers. You have lived through things that the younger generations cannot imagine. You have survived wars, depressions, losses, transformations. You have earned your wisdom. Do not hide it. Do not diminish it. Do not believe the lie that you are no longer relevant, no longer valuable, no longer needed. Choose the earth of service. Mentor someone. Teach someone. Love someone. Be the grandmother, the grandfather, the wise one, the elder that you needed when you were young. Your presence, your perspective, your peace is a gift to this world. And then I want you to do something very important. I want you to go to the comments section and I want you to share your choice. I want you to declare it publicly, not because I need to know, but because you need to hear yourself say it, because there is power in declaration, because there is magic in commitment. Because when you speak your truth out loud, you set forces in motion that will support you, guide you, and help you manifest the earth you are choosing. So go ahead, right now, pause this video, go to the comments, and write, "I choose," and then complete the sentence. What earth are you choosing? What frequency are you committing to? What reality are you calling in? Do it now. I will wait. And when you have done that, I want you to share this video with someone who needs to hear it, someone who is struggling, someone who is searching, someone who is ready. Because this message is not just for you. It is for the collective. It is for the awakening. It is for the shift. And every person who hears it, who receives it, who chooses because of it, raises the frequency of the entire planet. Every soul who wakes up contributes to the tipping point. Every heart that opens creates a ripple that touches countless others. You are not alone in this. You are part of a global awakening. You are part of a cosmic shift. You are part of a movement of consciousness that is transforming this planet, this dimension, this reality. And your choice matters. Your frequency matters. Your light matters. So choose. Choose your earth. Choose your frequency. Choose your light. And know that I am with you, that the guides are with you, that the universe is with you, that the divine is with you, always. You are loved. You are supported. You are guided. You are never alone. And the earth you are choosing, the earth of awakening, the earth of love, the earth of service, is already here. It is already real. It is already waiting for you. You just have to tune in. You just have to align. You just have to choose. So choose now. Choose today. Choose in this moment. You must choose your earth. And I bless you on your journey. I honor you for your courage. I celebrate you for your commitment. I see you for who you truly are, a being of light, a soul on a mission, a child of the divine. Go forth and shine. Go forth and love. Go forth and serve. The world is waiting for you. Your earth is waiting for you. Your destiny is waiting for you. Choose, and so it is.